Hey guys, welcome back. This time on the channel I'm going to do a little ride along with my 1976 TL250. I put a comment on my page a couple weeks ago, seeing if anybody would be interested in watching this thing go through the woods, kind of like how I did the DT250 about a month ago. That video has gotten a ton of views and a lot of people seem to really like that, so I figured I'd keep that tradition up, grab another bike out of the collection and take it back in the woods, do a little video ride for you guys. So you don't see many of these around anymore. The only time I really see them is when I go to Mid-Ohio or to any vintage trials events. So you don't see them pop up too often on Marketplace or Craigslist or anything. So I found this one a couple years ago. The kid that had it really just kind of used it as like a farm bike. I don't think he really realized it was a trials bike because he was riding it like a normal full-size motorcycle. And he was asking me if it was supposed to be geared that low, and I was trying to explain to him, yeah, it's more of a trials bike than anything. But I know a lot of guys use these things in the woods for just a good reliable trail bike too, which it can do that too as well. But the way it's geared though, it's more for crawling around. So when I picked it up, it ran and everything, but I needed to replace the rear tire, which I just got just a Shinko trials tire that I put on there. The chain and sprockets were shot, so I replaced those two. And this bike has an oddball dished rear sprocket, which took a little digging to find. You just can't go to Partzilla and find that sprocket. I had to have that made through a custom shop. I think it was Sport and Speed or Speed and Sport. I can't remember the name of the company that did it, but they cut those sprockets just for this with a spacer, so that it makes up for the stock one has like a dish shaped, and the spacing's all weird if you don't have that spacer in the back to line up with the front. So got the chain and sprockets. The unfortunate thing that happened on this bike also when I got it, the chain derailed on the front end, took out the case, which luckily was just the stator cover. So I was able to source one of these pretty cheap and just replace that, and luckily it didn't put a hole in the crankcase or anything, so I dodged a bullet there. So I got that on there, got the new chain and sprockets, made sure all that stuff's good, because I don't want that happening again, obviously. The other thing, the previous owner, one of the previous owners of this bike, put this seat on here, which is not the stock seat. This is more of like a sit down, much more comfortable seat than what comes on these things stock. I'll put a picture up if I could find one to show you what it looks like. But anyways, he did a really good job on customizing the seat to fit this, and it looks like it fits well. I mean, it doesn't flop around. It looks, it's in symmetry with the rest of the bike, and it does make it a lot nicer to just kind of putt around and sit down. Just going around the trails here. And he replaced the fender too. This is actually a generic front fender that this guy had attached to this, and he did a pretty decent job of making it look like it's almost supposed to be there. So I kind of left it. I'm not going to change anything back. Maybe the seat, but I'd have to find the right fender for it too. But I kind of like the way it is now because it's comfortable to ride around. So right now I'm in a creek, if you can't tell, and we just got a quick downpour of rain. So I'm going to do a little riding around in the creek, show you what we can do. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'll find some rocks to cross, some logs, but I'm not going to abuse the heck out of it. But just to give you an idea, we got a nice little step up here to do. Oh, and I hear thunder too. That should make things interesting. But we'll be riding this kind of stuff, and some other trails, some light trails and stuff too. But wanted to give you guys a good ride along video with the TL250. Sit back and enjoy. Let me know what you guys think, and look forward to hearing the comments. And let's get riding. Alright, she usually starts up pretty easy. I know she runs a little bit on the rich side. I just haven't really gotten around to try to find jets to try to jet it down, or just to lean it out just a hair. I did drop the needle on the carburetor to help. I think what's happening, which is the same thing that happened on my XL350, was the needle seat in the carburetor actually is worn out to the point where the needle, even if you get a new needle, it's still going to be like bored out, so it's going to be letting more gas in than what it should. So dropping that needle down one clip or so, so it leans it out, seems to help a little bit. It's still on the rich side, but I'd rather it be rich than too lean. So we got the kill switch right here on position. Let's give it a kick. I could pretty much just start out in second or third gear with this thing. It's a 5-speed, I believe. It's been a while since I've ridden it, so I'll run through the gears. I'm pretty sure it's a 5-speed, but the first 2 gears are so low. Third gear is a pretty decent cruising pace, and fourth and fifth are going at a pretty good rate on the trail. So I'm going to start out in second here. I'm just going to crawl up this hill here. Traction on these things is amazing. You can hear that bottom out. The rear shocks are definitely in need of a rebuild. Let's see. Got a little squirrely there. A little wet today. Get on here. I'm used to my my Sherco 2011 ST290 that I got for trials. Right now I'm in third gear and I'm still putting. Just third gear through here, and I'm at idle speed basically. See if we can climb this. Tractor. I'm in fourth gear now. You can see the speed picks up quite a bit compared to those first couple gears. This is just normal trail riding here, but let me get back down into that creek. We'll do a little more of that stuff. Got some slick logs to cross here. This is where this thing is fun, is crawling through these creeks. Down. Just lost that front end so easily. Right now I'm just crawling in second. Nice. So we're gonna head over and do some more advanced creek riding. That stuff we were just in is kind of small. This place I'm going to next is a little bit more open, and it's got some more challenging obstacles. So let's see how slick it is there. But I might try to hit some of these logs here. Let's see how this goes. Keep in mind, it's super slick. That no problem. And that was no problem either. Let's see if we can get up this tricky hill here. Oh yeah. So it's getting pretty dark here. I'm going to try to get a little bit more riding in here, finish up this video. Probably pretty nuts going over where I'm going if it's going to rain, because it's going to be a flood zone. But I'm going to head that way. We'll see. If it starts raining, I'll just get out of here. Make for a nice little trail bike too. Just want to take it easy and then kind of find some obstacles to mess around on. It's great for that. I mean, guys are still using these vintage trials that I watch every once in a while. Seems like more like the Yamaha TYs, and I think some of the Suzukis are the more desirable ones, just because these were considered heavy for the time from what I was reading. But it's almost impossible to stall this bike with the amount of torque that it's got. So if anybody can chime in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think with the TY was the bike of choice, I think, for the vintage stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So if I'm wrong, someone please chime in. You know, I'm sure everybody has their own favorites. I have a thing for Hondas, so you know, I love the looks of these bikes. I like them all. I mean, I'm not partial to any bike, but my favorites have always been Hondas. So kind of was drawn to the TL. See, like right there, it basically stalled, but with the inertia of the motor, it just starts right back up. I didn't have to kick it. All right, well, here we are back on the creek. This one's a little bit longer than the one I was in just a little bit ago. It's got some more challenging obstacles up further ahead. Right through here, it's just kind of, it's pretty much flat, but there's a lot of sharp edges. But I'm going to crawl up through here so you can get an idea. We just had some rain, and it's flown pretty decent today, so it should be pretty interesting up towards the more challenging part. We'll see what kind of damage the rain did. But I have confidence that this bike will make it through. So, let's head up there and check it out. far this ain't too bad. I was expecting to be rearranged with the amount of rain that we had. That was a sharp edge there. Another one. Alright, here's a tree. This one's a little tricky to cross. Okay. Not too bad. Alright, it gets more interesting up here. A lot of trash in this creek, unfortunately. Here's a straight edge here. Chug. All right. Success. Oh guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Get to see me thrashing around the Classic. But it took it pretty well, I gotta say. I'm pretty impressed. Once again, just like when I rode the DT250 back on some more technical trails, just how capable the old bikes are still. Considering the rear shocks are blown out, I could use a replacement on those. It bought them out a couple times, but I was able to navigate this creek just like I do on my my modern trials bike, my Sherco. And obviously without the suspension travel and all that, but the ergonomics are right. It felt pretty comfortable just crawling along, and I was able to do it in like second and third gear through the creek most of the time. You saw it crawled up this waterfall pretty easily, and a couple big logs, slippery logs in the creek, and some washouts and stuff. It all handled it pretty well. So once again, blown away by these old bikes. Still so much fun to ride, and it's cool to be able to you know, still use this bike as what it was intended for. And this 250 four-stroke engine is, I think, the same, pretty much the same as off the XL 250, obviously with some gearing changes. And I'm not sure if anything's different compression wise, but it's got loads of torque. I mean, it could probably climb a wall if it had a grip. After doing that, I'm thinking on actually trying my hand at some vintage trials, maybe sometime soon. But like I said, I got to get the rear shocks rebuilt or replaced, probably replaced, because I don't think they're rebuildable. So if anybody has any suggestions on which ones they use on their TLs, I'm all ears. And anything else you might suggest me do on this bike before I take it on some trials competitions. But feels like it's pretty much ready to go. I could probably use a new front tire because I think that's the original still. But the rear is Shinko, fairly new Shinko, and just airing it down a little bit hooks up really well. So I think I'm going to do a little more riding before it gets dark here. And thanks again for tuning in, guys. This has been fun doing these old bikes, ride-alongs in the woods. I might do a couple other ones. Just gotta figure out which ones I want to take back and thrash on a little bit in the woods. So I'll let you know what I come up with, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.